Here are 10 cycling accessories that make life more convenient. Last week, I did a video on cycling upgrades you definitely don't need, but I always buy. If you want to see that, that's down here. But this week is actually about cycling upgrades that I think makes life better and easier for cycling. As we go through these guys, I would love to hear from you for any more cycling upgrades that make things convenient. I really love new tech and different things, so please suggest them down below for me and it might let me do a part 2. My first convenient accessory is this tiny little thing right here. It is a Clik valve. Now, if you haven't seen these before, these are amazing. I'll have a video, once again, linked below as to how they work and stuff like that. It seems silly, but the ease of use of these, all you have to do is press it on and pump up, and then you put it straight off and it's done. You don't need to do anything else. It's just so damn easy. And if you look, it always hooks up straight away as soon as you put it on. It seems silly, but honestly, going back to a pressure valve after these is such a chore. If you pump up your tyres every day or before every ride, this is like an essential upgrade for me. Just makes life easy, quicker, and I think it's cheap. They're like £6 for a pair of these, and then all you have to do is buy the pump head once and you're good, you're ready to roll. If you really want to enhance the look of your wheels, you can also get a shorter valve. Because the Clik valve hardly needs any space to clip onto, you can have a valve that barely sticks out and has minimal show. Just an idea. Next up on my list are electric mini pumps. Now, if you haven't used one of these, they are fantastic. In my opinion, long gone are the days where you sit on the side of the road with a mini pump, pumping like crazy just to get your tyre up to pressure, and you don't even know what PSI you hit with these anymore. Same with the CO2 inflator, like you sit there, you freeze your hand, it's cold, it's annoying, and sometimes the little adapters and accessories don't work properly, so you lose your CO2 cartridge and then you're stuffed. Whereas with the electric mini pump, for a small one like this, you normally get about 3 pumps from it, or 3 tyres to about 70 PSI, and it's got a PSI gauge on there. And honestly, you just sit there, it's kind of loud, but pump up your tyre. You don't have to do anything, and it just makes life easy, and you just chuck it in your pocket. I do have like a 5% discount code for these ones down below if you want to use that, but honestly, they all work. They're all good. Next on my list is a waterless bike wash. I think these are awesome. If you don't like cleaning your bike all the time, these just make life so easy. This one's from Silka. It's pretty expensive. You don't need to spend this much on a waterless bike wash. You can get cheaper ones. But if your bike's not overly dirty and you want it to look clean, give a cloth a spray, wipe it down, and your bike looks completely fresh again. Just something I always recommend keeping around if you like a clean bike and you don't like to wash it fully all the time. Now, this next one is one that I bang on about all the time, and that is a waxed chain. If you've never waxed your chain before, honestly, wow. I mean, it is just so clean. You just get little flecks of wax and that's about it, and they just rub off your hand. But you can use it, touch your bike as much as you want, and your hands never get dirty. For me, that is the main benefit of a wax chain. It's just clean all the time. There are a number of other benefits, like they've decreased watt loss through the system, so you're losing less watts as you pedal. They're more efficient, basically. They also wear the chain a lot less, which in turn wears your components a lot less. So all of your components last longer, saving you money. And not only that, I think it's faster and easier to clean a wax chain than it is a normal chain. All you have to do is take the chain off your bike, put it in your wax pot, let it melt, swirl it before it comes out, dry it, and then put it back on your bike. Easy. I promise you this, if you think it's easier to clean a normal lube chain, you haven't cleaned it properly. So yeah, a wax chain just makes life better. And you don't even need to do the dip wax. You can use a drip wax. I don't think it's quite as clean as a fully immersive wax chain, but it's certainly better than a wet lubricant. Next up is the Evoc Bike Bag Pro. Now, if you're traveling with your bike or travel a lot with your bike, I can't recommend any other bike box. It's so easy to get in. All you need to do is take your wheels off and put the bike in the bag. I think it's easy enough to set up. I think it's really reliable. I've personally been through like 30, 40 airports with it and never had a problem with my bike. Most of you will be smaller than me, so you won't have to take your seat post off. I do have to take my seat post off, but once again, seat post and wheels to take off to fit a bike in a bag, that makes life so easy. You of course don't have to buy these, you can also rent them. Usually local bike shops or clubs usually have some of these to rent out, so it's my recommendation. This next one is a saddlebag. Now, I used to always run this one from Silka, the Silka Matone, and reason being, I just like the square look. I think it looks really sleek and simple on a bike. It doesn't look big and bulky down there. The only downside to this one is that it's quite expensive. It normally comes in at about 50 to 60 pounds here in the UK. But this one, however, is one from a company called Lumiere & Co. And it does the exact same thing with the exact same look for more than half the price. Plus, you can buy it on Amazon with a quick delivery. Not only that, it's practically the exact same. It's got a nice thick strap to it, so it's really stable on the bike. Lots of space inside to do whatever you need to with some separate compartments. And then finally, I actually think the mechanism for this is better than the normal boa dial on here. It's so simple. All you have to do, it sits on with a magnet, and then you can tighten that up from there on your bike. I'll have a link to the website down below, of course. Next accessory, TPU inner tubes. Now, I've got loads of videos on these. I'll link them all down below, but let me just give you the headline stats. For the same price as a Butyl inner tube, for these Ride Now ones, they're about 6 to 8 watts faster in rolling resistance. They're about 70 grams lighter per inner tube. And look how much smaller they are. They're absolutely tiny compared to a normal Butyl inner tube. So you can fit 3 of these for the weight and size of 1 Butyl inner tube in your saddlebag. Even if you run tubeless and stuff, it's just nice to have one of these hanging around in case you want to chuck a tube in, because they're so light and so small to carry around. But if you are running Butyl, like I said, it's almost silly not to upgrade to these. For this next one here is more for my SRAM users. Now, SRAM users, you probably know that when you change down from the big ring to the little ring, this chain comes off quite frequently, more than it should. Sorry SRAM, throwing you under the bus there, but it's true. So the accessory that fixes that is this little guy right here. He is a chain catcher. This one's from K-Edge specifically, that I fitted to my girlfriend's bike here. And I'm gonna do my best to show you here. It sits very, very close to the inside of the chain there. And it just makes sure that the chain can't go any further. So it's very unlikely to drop off. It seems that the front derailleur on SRAM here seems to sit quite far back. So there's quite a lot of leeway for the chain to throw off that inside cog. But with that chain catcher, because it sits right next to the cog, it is now impossible for the chain to come off of the inside and scratch up all your lovely paint job on the inside there. For my next cycling accessory, this one is for getting tyres onto your wheel, and that is the tyre glider. Now, 99% of the time, I don't need to use this guy. There are one tube type where I do need to use it, and that is the Pirelli tubeless tyres. The first time you ever put them on, you need something like this to assist to help you get them on. I have a video down below, once again, showing how to use this. But effectively, you just put this little hook onto the rim and squeeze it around, and it's easy to put your tyre on. I have, however, electrical tape to the inside of here, just to make sure it doesn't, guarantee that it doesn't scratch up my rim. Don't want it ruining the aesthetics of your bike. So yeah, usually not needed, but if you get that one tyre wheel combo that you just cannot get the tyre on, this guy will get it on for you. This final one is just for my time trialing friends out there, this crazy looking thing. Effectively, this screws onto a Schrader head side of a pump, and it allows you to pump up disc wheels that have like no space inside the disc wheel. Very specific for time trialists. I am one of them, so I need this to pump up my disc wheel, but likely not needed for like 99.9% of you. But I promise, it is one of those things that makes life much easier when trying to pump up your disc wheel. So guys, there we are, my 10 cycling accessories that make cycling a little bit more convenient. Just makes that life a little bit better, speeding things up a little bit. Let me know what you think of them. Have you had a good experience, a bad experience with any of these? And if you have any further questions for me or just want to follow my daily shenanigans, you can find me over here on Instagram. I've been Jason, this has been Cycling Unboxed. See you in another video.